Do it, baby, stick it, baby. I'm living my best life.
Hey y'all, this is Caden
and Christina,
and we want to share with you 7 tips on how we paid off $120,000 in debt within 2 years.
And the 7th tip is super important, so be sure to stay tuned until the end. And remember, it's not about the amount of money that we paid off, it's about having a plan and working it.
Yeah, some people may be able to pay off more, some people may be able to pay less. It really doesn't matter. The first tip is so important. Make more money. And so how do you go about doing this? The first thing is side hustle. We can all get a side hustle. That can be Uber or Lyft. It really doesn't matter how much money you're making. I know my wife, she enjoys math tutoring, so that's her thing. I like speaking, engagements about finance, about personal development, whatever it is. That's my thing. And I know that you have something that you can do to bring some more money in. The other thing is, when is the last time you asked your boss for a raise? Probably about time. The worst they can say is no. Maybe fire you. But no, the worst they can say is no. And so make sure that you hustle, grind, and pray. And I got that from Chasten and Jeanette.
The second tip is to find a community for support. If you're in a relationship, it is super important that you all are on the same page. And whether you're in a relationship or not, having a community to help support you and to give you tips on how to accomplish your financial goals is essential. I know one of the channels that I really love is His and Her Money.
Yeah.
And
what's up, y'all?
While we were on road trips, my husband would force us to watch Dave Ramsey videos.
She liked it.
On YouTube. Now I must say, they were super beneficial even though I didn't appreciate it at that time.
She loved it.
Thank you, babe. I appreciate it.
She loved it.
But it was so helpful just to have someone there to help give you tips and also keep you motivated to accomplish your financial goals.
Awesome. And so the third tip that we have for you that we did and we found that worked really well for us is create a debt account. Now this is much different than an emergency fund. An emergency fund is for emergencies. And we had a debt account, and what we did is automatically put a certain amount of money in that account that go towards debt. And that way we don't get to think about it. It's automatic.
It was super helpful for me to not be able to see the money so I wouldn't be tempted to spend it.
And so we would encourage you to do that as well. And especially it helped us to plan for future debt. Especially when we were planning for our wedding, we weren't always able to pay everything off immediately. We put some of it on our credit card, but we know that eventually the money will be in our debt account and that we can use it to pay for our wedding.
The fourth tip, and honestly probably the hardest for me, was learning to say no. There were family events, there were weddings, there were even group trips that we had to say no to. But we knew, because we were on the same page, that we knew that we had to make this sacrifice in order to move forward. Also, one of the things that was really difficult for me was the idea or the concept of delayed gratification.
Ooh.
It especially came into play during my 30th birthday.
Oh, talk about it.
But, so on my 30th birthday, my husband made me an amazing dinner. It was so good.
Steak and crab legs.
Amazing. But eventually we delayed our trip to Thailand to be in October so that we can fully pay off both cars. And even though it was essentially a little difficult to wait because I can be a little impatient, it was well worth
She is so patient.
not having the debt to worry about, and we could just live it up in Thailand.
Yeah, no, that's so true. The fifth thing is to create a budget. And not just a monthly budget, but a budget for the entire year. And so that was so helpful for us because we got to plan out our entire year, the expenses that we planned on having, the weddings that we planned to go to. We made a plan to, cut back on our typical Christmas spending early in advance, enough to probably even give people a little bit of forewarning that we'll probably be more thoughtful in our gifts and maybe not spend as much. And now this year we have a much larger budget for Christmas. But it was so important to plan for our entire year so we can make sure we allocated the money to the debt that we needed to.
And I must say that for me, even though I love math, creating budgets are super tedious for me. But I do realize the value in creating the budget to help us stick to the plan and accomplish what we want to accomplish.
And so if you watch Dave Ramsey, I'm the nerd and she's the free spirit.
Only the free spirit. The sixth tip are bonuses. So if you are fortunate enough to get a bonus from your job, a little extra money, it's important to plan out how you're going to spend those bonuses. So even though the bonuses were a small amount, a very small fraction of what the debt we had to pay off, we had a plan for them. So the first bonus check went toward paying off my car, and the second bonus check went toward paying off my student loans. And like I said, it was a small fraction, but it helped to give us that momentum that we needed in order to keep pushing forward to become debt-free.
No, that was huge momentum, huge momentum. And so the seventh thing, and personally what I think is the most important one, is knowing your why. Know your why. And so for us, our why is, if you couldn't tell, we're black. And so we know what it's like for black people in America. And we know what it may be like for our unborn children. And we want to give them the best chance to succeed. And that means that we're going to have to sacrifice some stuff to make sure they have a solid financial foundation. The other thing that we're really passionate about is giving. We love giving, we love helping people. And so becoming debt-free was one of the best ways that we knew that we can be able to give freely and help as many people as possible. We did things to help people during our debt-free journey, but immediately after we pay off our debt, we made contributions to churches up and above what we typically did. Just being able to help people is so important.
Yep. And just as a bonus tip, cut back on spending. Of course, that's logical. If I spend less, I'll have more to put toward debt. But honestly, it's easier said than done. It's a change in behavior. And in order to change your behavior, you have to be cognizant of the things that could impact you and your spending.
Yeah, and so the thing that we cut back on the most was going out to eat. When we looked at our budget, we spend $500, $600 each month going out to eat. And so being able to just cut that out of our budget allowed us to save a tremendous amount of money. Now you still want to have fun in your marriage, and one of the things, and we talked about this in another video, we did a movie pass, and then every week we would go to the movies with each other.
Before they went under.
Yeah, it's not that good anymore, but when they were good, we did it every week. And we enjoyed it. We had a really good time. And so find other creative ways to have fun that doesn't cost $500, $600 every month while you're on your journey.
And so, speaking of being a community for support, we would love to be a part of your community. So feel free to share your journey and financial goals with us in the comments.
Yeah, if you're pursuing this debt-free journey, feel free to leave comments, and we're happy to help you in any way that we possibly can. So we encourage you to subscribe and like our channel so you can get updates when we post new things. And we look forward to being a part of your community.
And remember, live your best life.
Do it, baby, stick it, baby.